What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host Josh, and we are back for a proper match preview between Borussia Mönchengladbach and Borussia Dortmund for the quarters of the Pokal. And there's a lot of underlying little stories that are going on here, but we're going to do this in the same proper way we've been doing them. So we're going to start off with the little recent history between the clubs because, like I always say, it matters. One way or another, when a team faces another team and you have a decent history, you usually have a bit of confidence. And this is a one-sided little tie. The last 5 matches we've had against Borussia Mönchengladbach, we have won 4, drew 0, and then lost 1, that being the last time we played them. Earlier this season, we had a 3-0 victory over them in our home and season opener, followed by a very bitter 4-2 loss because that game was just, for many reasons, an ugly little affair for us, but we're looking to move on from it and get on because it's all about really current form. So if you want to take a look at our last 5 games in all competitions, we are 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Well, Gladbach is something not very good right now. They're 0 wins, 1 draw, and 4 losses. They're in horrible form right now, while we are arguably in our best form of the season with winning 3 games on the bounce. So going into this game, you're looking on paper the way that Gladbach has fallen right out into 9th in the table, and we are flying up into 5th, 3 points away from Frankfurt in Champions League football. It's nothing but good things, but this is a cup competition. There's a lot of different things that are going behind. I'm going to try to touch as many of them as I can. This game can be all over the place. The one big issue we got to talk about is the fact that we have 3 major games coming up. We have the Pokal quarters against Gladbach, followed by the weekend game against Bayern, which is obviously a tough game considering we need 3 points to keep the push for top 4 on, while Bayern is competing heavily with Leipzig for the first place spot right now. And then after that, of course, then we have a knockout tie second leg against Sevilla. So these games are coming fast, they're coming fierce, and we gotta know exactly when to rest certain players. Maybe Terzic doesn't. Maybe Terzic goes all out with Haaland, Sancho, Hummels, starting all 3. But if you're gonna look at the importance, that Bayern game is huge. We need top 4. That's probably where the most money is gonna come from. Getting a deep push in the Champions League, which kind of means the Pokal will probably be the 3rd favored one out of those 3 different games. And it sucks because for me, I mean, the Pokal is a huge opportunity for us to win a bit of silverware, but you got to be very careful. We don't want to see any injuries happen. We don't want to burn anybody out for the other 2 games. So it's going to be very interesting with that. The other little issue, of course, is the Marco Rosa little story. We know basically he's going to be our manager next season. We know things did not go over well with the players, the fans over in Gladbach. On top of that, they're in dreadful form. And now our future boss is coming to take us on in a knockout tie in the quarterfinals with his current club. So there's going to be a lot of behind the scenes little things going on here. It's going to be ugly one way or another for Gladbach, whether they can pull something off, but if they don't, and seeing the form that they're in, we're going to see what happens. But I mean, we got to hope for a Dortmund win here. So we're going to go into my predicted starting 11, and I've had a lot of trouble with this one. I really did. Because like I said, I want to see some players get rested. You gotta be strategic about it. We need our full team going for the Bayern game, and we need our full team going for the Sevilla game. We had our full team against the Bielefeld game. If you need to rest someone, man, like it's the Gladbach game, especially because they're not in good form, and it's the least important, in my opinion, on the 3 when it comes to the importance of this season. So when I'm gonna go for our starting 11 here, I'm touching on the starting 11 for a while now, and it's the 4-3-2-1. And like I said, I don't mind the 4-2-3-1 when we're playing teams where we're going to have a lot of possession. But looking at the next 3 games, Gladbach, Bayern, Sevilla, the possession is going to be relatively even, which means that I want to see a 3rd man in that midfield, which is why I'm going with this formation. Hitz is going to be in net. I mean, you could argue you could rest Hitz, but in my opinion, I mean, there's already been a split in net. Hitz is our starting keeper right now. There's no point of putting Berkey in, so I see Hitz between the sticks for this game. Right back is where I'm going to have the first little rest. I see Meunier coming back into the squad. Because Mariah's played 3 in the bounce. He hasn't really done that too often. Plus, he may be favored in one of the other 2 games. So, depending on who's going to start in the next 2 games, the Bayern and Sevilla game, I would start. So, if Meunier's going to actually start the Bayern Sevilla, I would start Mariah, and then vice versa. But in my opinion, I have a feeling that Meunier is going to be on the right back spot. And again, the center backs, I think it's probably going to be Chan Hummels, but Zagadu's got a big shout for coming back and starting one of these games, but due to his injury, I still don't think he's going to get to start. And I have a feeling probably Chan and Hummels are going to probably start the next 3 games. So I see them as our center backs with, again, Guerrero. You could argue it's time for Schultz to come in and give Guerrero some rest, but I feel like Terzic isn't going to risk it. I have a feeling he's going to be playing a very strong team in all 3 of these games, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here. The 3 midfielders, we're just going to see Delaney come back in. He had the week off. He also had another week off, obviously because of the birth of his child, which is fantastic. So hopefully he'll be a little bit rested at least, with De Hood and Bellingham as well. That 3-man midfield, man, I don't see any issues with starting De Hood all these games because, like I said, he hasn't had a ton of minutes this season. Keep running him on. Maybe you could rest Bellingham, maybe put Chan up to the midfield, but I still think he's so important to this squad. It's not like he's played a crazy amount of games week in, week out, like your Hummels, your Guerrero. So I see that 3-man midfield, and I hopefully see that 3-man midfield for the next few games. It's the front 3 where I think there's time for a little bit of opportunity to rest someone. It's not going to be Haaland. So Haaland's going to be the man starting up front, and again, you can't not start Haaland in these kind of games. There's no way, in my opinion, it's not going to be Haaland up front. But you can finally rest a player in the center attacking position, and arguably you could rest them both. You could easily put Brandt and Gio in those positions, but I have a feeling it's going to be Sancho and it's going to be Brandt, and we'll see Royce be rested there. I mean, it's a good opportunity made for Sancho to throw Gio in there as well. I really don't know. I had a lot of trouble trying to come up with what Terzic is going to do because of these games coming so fast, and the importance of all 3 games is crazy. So that's what I'm going with. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about if you're agreeing with me, if you see it the same kind of way. Would you start Schultz? Would you have a switch up? Would you even rest Haaland? I don't know. I'm going with what I feel. I think these players want the minutes. I think Terzic isn't afraid to give it to them. So it'll be insane, guys, and that's my little predicted lineup there. So taking a look at our key little matchups like we like to do. For me, it's Haaland for one and Jan Sommer for the other, and it's because Haaland I think is gonna have a good opportunity to go in on goal, and Sommer, in my opinion, is one of the best in the Bundesliga. He's been one of the best in the Bundesliga for a long time now, and I think that if there's someone who's going to stop us from scoring a goal, it's going to be through a magnificent performance from Jan Sommer. So we'll have to see how he does there. The other little matchup I have going on is going to be keeping an eye on Hummels. I'm going to keep an eye on Hummels because I think that he's got a lot of minutes already under his belt, and I'm very curious to see how he's going to do. I'm going to match him with Hoffman just due to that little BVB connection. Hoffman had a good game against us the last time out, so it seems like a fair little matchup. Hopefully Hummels can be able to stop his crosses. Hoffman's very good on the ball, good putting in crosses, and hopefully Hummels can keep up with the pace because he's obviously getting a little bit older, but he is used to a lot of minutes, so hopefully he can come up and have a good performance there as well. So guys, that is our match preview for the upcoming game. We have a wild week coming up, 3 different competitions, 2 of them knockout games, and a game against Bayern, man. Watch-alongs will be here on the channel. Not wait to see you guys, so come tomorrow. Come check us out for our match watch-along. Join us and hopefully see us go on to the semifinals in a competition, which we hopefully will go on and win. So thank you guys, everyone, for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We are growing rapidly. We really appreciate all the support you guys have. We have our memberships now, so if any of you guys want to join and become a member, you can see the different tiers. It's in our community board. You can read them, and we have already had a few already, so we really appreciate everyone who has become a member. And if you're new around here, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.